Hey guys, so today we're going to look at a new Eeveelution. If you did not see the title or the entry card, don't look now because I'm hoping it's going to be a surprise. Let's get Eevee evolved. And in this guide we're going to go over Vaporeon. Vaporeon is my favorite evolution out of the original three. I'm really excited to show you guys how I use this Pokemon. So let's get to it. So just kind of going over Vaporeon in general. Vaporeon has very high HP, pretty good special attack, pretty good special defense, but then low speed, attack, and defense. Vaporeon is going to be more of a wall Pokemon. Sadly, Vaporeon was a lot better in Sun and Moon than it is going to be in Sword and Shield. And that's because Toxic was removed as a TM. You can't teach Vaporeon Toxic anymore. You can kind of work around that, but you're not going to have that just like really bulky Pokemon that just sits there, takes hits, and then whittles the opponent down with poison damage. You can do it with Burn, and Vaporeon does fit a really good role as far as a Pokemon that forces switches. I'll show you a couple builds with Vaporeon just to kind of get it working, and we'll go into that after I show you the stats and everything. If you have not gotten the hidden ability Eevee, I'll put the card above on how to get that if you don't have it. But if you don't have the hidden ability Eevee, Vaporeon is a great normal Eevee evolution. Water Absorb is really good right now because of Dracovish. Vaporeon will somewhat be a counter to that Pokemon. He still can Super Fang you down with your high HP, but Water Absorb is a good move. The second ability, Hydration, not really anybody's going to be running a Rain team, and also all it does is cure status effects. There's other ways around that, so I think Water Absorb is definitely the go-to ability that you want on Vaporeon. So now that we have our Vaporeon, we need to Eevee Train it. I personally go HP and defense, since Vaporeon is going to be more of a tank. I do want to note that I infect my Pokemon with Pokéurus whenever I do Eevee training. I'll go into another video about basically like what that does, but I'm going to be getting more EVs than normal because I have the Pokéurus. And then I personally, so what I personally do is I put a weight on the Pokemon that's not of the Pokemon that I'm currently farming. So this will give me HP EVs, but I'm going to be farming Marini for defense. Once I max out my HP, I will swap to the defensive weight, and that way I will be about a fourth of the way through defense, and then I can finish it off. I specifically go after Marini for defense. There's other Pokemon that are easier, like Roly-Coly. I have a shiny of him already, so I don't really want to bring my Pokemon counts up any higher on him. So I'm going to be doing Marini just because I want to bring my Pokemon count higher, so I can more easily run into a shiny of her. When you're Eevee farming, I would definitely suggest that you turn off your battle effects, just because that will save you a lot of time. I don't really think you want to see the moves over and over again. You're going to have to kill about 20 of these Pokemon. So he's going to give me 1 defensive Eevee, and then 8 base points in HP since I have on the brace. And then the Pokéurus is going to up that a whole bunch. So as you can see, my Vaporeon is still leveling up because it's pretty low level. I have only defeated, I think 2 or 3 But my HP is already going way up. I'm probably only going to have to farm about 20 to 30 of this Pokemon, and then my Eevee Train will be done. Alright, HP is done. Now we're going to swap over to the Defense Bracer. Every time I faint one of these, I always feel so bad because she just like very weakly like lays down. Aw, it's worth it for the defense points. Alright, and defense is done. I'm just going to throw the last 4 points into speed. And now we're done with Eevee training. Woot! For the Pokemon's nature, I'm using Bold. That gives a 10% attack down, which you're not going to use at all, so no penalty there. And then 10% defense up. A lot of people that are going to see Vaporeon, if they know its base stats, they're going to think that's not a defensive Pokemon. And whenever you can put points into defense and also have your nature boost it, it goes in line with its special defense, so you have a pretty good all-around defensive Pokemon doing it this way. Special attack up, attack down is another very good nature. I don't really want to push out a lot of damage with Vaporeon in either build. Each build is kind of trying to do a little bit more than attacking, either swapping or a little bit more defense. So that's why I don't go with special attack up. And then for egg moves, I use Wish and Yawn. I got Wish through chain breeding. I'll put that card up here. In the Sylveon video, it goes into how to do it. You have to go through several Pokemon. And then Yawn is pretty easy. I'm not going to put the actual video of the breed in. But all you have to do is breed a female Eevee with a male Quagsire, Hippowdon, or Musharana. That's the sleeping pig Pokemon. I never remember its name, honestly. As long as you breed one of those that has Yawn with a female Eevee, you'll get Yawn and you'll be good to go. Yawn isn't necessary for this build, so if you just want to skip that altogether, that's fine. I only use it for my switch out build. So this is the build where you want both egg moves, Yawn and Wish. This is a kind of a force switch build for Vaporeon. I use Yawn as my go-to status just because whenever you use it in the next turn, if the Pokemon acts, it will fall asleep. You're probably going to go last with Vaporeon, so they're going to have to figure out, like, do I want to try one more attack and fall asleep, or do I want to swap out? You do need some setup in order to have that be more effective. You have to have a Pokemon that can put down terrain damage. I think Ferrothorn is a really good Pokemon to complement this build because you can get all of those entry hazards set out and then kind of force the swap out. And then the other two moves I just have for kind of moving around my damage. Scald will break physical sweepers. Scald will burn at a 30% rate, so you can take out physical attackers, and it does water damage, which is stab. And then there's Ice Beam. It's a good counter to grass types if you come up against one and you're worried about super effective damage. It also will freeze the Pokemon if for some reason they're immune to sleep and burn. So this is the other build I do. It's a little bit more of a keep Vaporeon around through passive regeneration and be a little bit more aggressive. I will definitely say if you're going to run this build, get as many PP of Hydro Pump as you can. Definitely use your PP up or PP max on Hydro Pump to get it up to 10. Ice Beam's good. It counters grass types that you might have trouble with, and it could possibly freeze them and lock them down. Aqua Ring is just funny, especially if you have leftovers. It gives you double leftovers, so you're healing an eighth of your HP every turn. Vaporeon has a bunch of HP too, so somebody's going to have a really hard time knocking you down. And then Haze. Haze is just good if you accidentally let somebody set up and they're sweeping. Put Vaporeon out. Vaporeon will probably live. And then we'll use Haze and just reset everything so you don't have to worry too much about losing the rest of your Pokemon. And just to give you guys peace of mind, you don't need 2 different Vaporeons to swap between this build. If you taught it Yawn and Wish. So you can see that I dumped Yawn and Wish from the previous build to get Aqua Ring and Haze. But Yawn and Wish are at the move, remember. So you can go get them back anytime. And just for fun, I want to show you guys how much Aqua Ring and Leftovers heals. So I'm at 87 HP. And I'm back up at 109. It is a full 1/8 of your HP, but with how much HP Vaporeon has, my Vaporeon isn't even level 50 yet. It's a lot. And that's the video. If you enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to do every single one of the Eevee evolutions in Pokemon Sword and Shield. Kind of just in summary about Vaporeon. Vaporeon is a really good tanky wall. You can't use Toxic and Vaporeon anymore in the same set, so it's not as good as it used to be. I still think it has its place. The fact that it can heal with water damage is really good, especially with how prevalent Dracovish is. I think this is a really good Pokemon that you can keep in your party to swap in, either to provide some type of like forced swap situation with entry hazards, or if you just want to use it as a little bit more of a support Pokemon by utilizing Haze and then the passive HP regain. And then once you kind of reset everything, just like beating people down with your stab moves. But yeah, if you guys got this far in the video, thank you so much. I'm going to put a couple of videos up on the screen. Please check them out if you like this content, and please subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. I'm a new channel. I'm pretty close. I definitely want to get to that 1,000 at the end of the year, so if you can help me out with that, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.